Hi there, I'm Jaden Truman, a technical consultant here at Locatrix. We get asked to provide PlanStudio demonstrations frequently, so I thought it'd be a good idea to share this demo via webinar, just so you can see how simple and easy PlanStudio is to use to create evacuation diagrams for an entire site. PlanStudio is a program developed by us at Locatrix to streamline the creation of evac diagrams and can also be used for data capture. Let's jump into it. First off, we're going to create a campus. First thing we want to do when creating a campus is give the campus a name. After we've given the campus a name, we're going to locate that campus on a Bing satellite imagery. We can use the Bing satellite imagery to search the address. Once you've found your specific address, select it. And then what it will do is basically pinpoint your location there. From that, using the scroll wheel or pinch and zoom on your touch device, we can essentially pinpoint our building's location. Now, if you're doing a site where there's multiple buildings, you will want to make sure they're enclosed inside the white box here. But essentially, we're just doing this building today. We click done, and what it does is autofill that address bar out for us. Now we can click the Add Campus option. Once we've clicked the Add Campus option, it puts us inside that campus, which then allows us to set up the site plan. When you've clicked on site plan, it'll give you some upload options. As you can see, we have many different options, but the option today I'm going to be using is the Use Satellite layer. When you click the Use Satellite layer, it will use the Bing Map satellite imagery that we were viewing before when locating the campus. But what another thing PlanStudio has is the option to choose between Bing or Metro Map. To choose between Bing or Metro Maps, we come to our settings, we select Adjust Satellite Imagery, and essentially what the program will do is search if there's a Metro Map for this area. When the Metro Map option comes up, simply select it, and as you can see here, it's given us a nice high definition satellite imagery. If you want to go forward with using Metro Map, just simply hit Close on the top right. And as you can see, it saves that satellite imagery. If we click back, what we want to do now is create a building. To do that, we do the pink plus button again, give the building a name, and now we also want to give that building an address. Now that may be the same as the campus address, or it may be an internal campus address that will be helpful for the first responders. Once you've completed the address, select the Add Building option. And now what it'll give us the option is to create a floor plan. To do that, we click the pink plus button, give our level a name, and select the Add Floor option. As you can see, once you've created your floor plan, PlanStudio has a variety of options of importing files. The one that I'm going to choose today is the Import Image and PDF. Once you've selected this option, it will bring up your Files Explorer to select either your image or PDF you'd like to upload. When you select a PDF like I have here, it gives you an option to either import this PDF as a bitmap image or a vector file. Either work perfectly fine. Today I'll be using bitmap. Once you've selected bitmap, it's going to ask you to add an attribution. Now you only have to do this if you do not own the content that you are uploading. I've created this PDF today, so therefore it's not required. Once you've gone through the attribution, it will put you into the floor plan editor. Simply pinch or zoom with your mouse to enlarge the image. Now as you can see here, all our tools along the top are disabled. What that means is we need to do the geotags. The geotags are basically geolocating each point of the corner against the satellite image you used earlier. As you can see down the side here, it gives you a step-by-step of how to do this. So the first step is we're going to simply click on 3 different corners to add those 3 geotags. Once we've added the geotags, we select the Use Map option, and then basically what we're doing now is clicking and dragging that crosshairs to basically match that point of where it is on this satellite imagery. Once you're happy with the location, simply select your next geotag and then repeat. Please keep in mind when doing this, you want to keep in mind for overhangs, patios and pergolas, as that may throw out your geotag percentage. Now PlanStudio works with a geotag placement error, anything under 10, but me personally, I like to work under 5. So as you can see, I've got it under 2, and I'm happy with that. Therefore, I'm going to click Scale Plan. Once you've clicked Scale Plan, as you can see, it's enlarged the image, and now we're ready to hit back and get into drawing. Some of the setup you want to start off with first is making sure your layers are right. So if we come to our layers on the top right here, as you can see, we've got our graphics layer here with an eye and a padlock. If I click on the eye, it hides the graphic. And if I click on the padlock, it means the graphic will then be unable to be selected, which is good as we'll be tracing over the top of this. Another thing you want to keep in mind as well is to change the opacity by just simply clicking and dragging this bar, as all the objects we'll be drawing today are in a black line, and when the opacity is up high, it can be hard to see where you've traced over. Once you've set up your layers, we are able now to start drawing. What we want to do is come into the wall tool located on the top toolbar. What we want to do now is go into our presets and select from the various types of walls the external wall. To draw an external wall, what you basically want to do is zoom in on the particular wall you want to copy, simply click and drag, and your wall will appear. You'll also see a running measurement, but remember that is only as accurate as your geotags were. Once you've drawn your wall, essentially from there, clicking and dragging all over each corner, giving a little bit of overhang in case the image that you've uploaded is a little twisted. Once we've done that, you'll be able to see the complete outline of the walls. Now obviously we don't want to leave all these overhangs, so what we want to do is come to this trim tool here and essentially click and drag, and anything the red line runs through, it will trim off the overhang. As you can see now, we have no overhangs, but we're still missing the curved front wall here. What we want to do is come to our selection tool, select the wall, making sure the properties come up on the right here, come to our manipulator tool, turn off angle snapping, so we have more of a variety of range. And what you'll be able to see now is we've got the white boxes, which we call nodes, which allow us to click and drag and manipulate this line around. And then we have the blue grip points, which then allow us to click and drag and curve that wall, so we can try and follow that background graphic as close as possible. Once you're happy with that curve, simply click off to the side and remember to turn on your angle snapping. As when we come back into the wall tool, we're now going to start drawing the internals. So come back to our wall option, back to our presets, select internal, and then continue drawing from there. Now you've finished completing adding in your internal walls. Now you want to add in doors. To add in a door, you want to come to the door tool and select the door. Now with your doors, we've got a variety of types here that all work off a basic fixed width, which is the Australian standard of 820. Now you do have the option to change that, but for today, I'll be leaving it at the 820. To draw a door, you want to select the particular door you want to trace, zoom in over it, work out which way it swings on the double wall, and draw from the hinge. And as you can see with the fixed width, it won't let me draw any further. Once I release, I then have the option, if I come to the selection tool, to specify if I want to make this a double swing door. Another option we have with doors is obviously our full door and a half door, which works off the same rules, drawing from the full door hinge and across, and PlanStudio automatically calculates that extra measurement for that half door. Again with the double door, now it doesn't matter what hinge you draw from, it just depends on the side of the wall you draw along. And as you can see here, click and drag again, that measurement changes. Now with the sliding doors that I'm about to add in over here, they do work off a little different. You're essentially drawing it from where it would be closed. So basically, if we click and drag along here, we're specifying the gap, and we release. And as you can see, the sliding door does default to a cavity sliding door, which we can then change over on the property side here by selecting what side of the wall we want it to slide along. But for today, we want it as a cavity. Once you've finished adding in your doors, you now want to start adding in your stairs. To add the stairs in, come up to the stairway icon up the top here, zoom in on your particular stairway, and then click and drag. Now when you get towards the end of the staircase, it will start to snap. What that's letting you know is, this is the time to curve the staircase. So to curve the staircase, release, and then click on the dotted circle located at the end of the dotted line. When you click and drag on that dotted circle, it will curve the staircase around. Simply repeat that step again to have the staircase curve back down. Once you've finished adding the staircase, we now want to add in some landings. To add in landings, we'll come to the selection tool here, click on our landing modes, and simply click on the staircase icons. As you can see here, we've thrown in our landings. Now we also have the ability to add in our cut. So what that basically allows us to show if these stairs are double directional or single directional. Now as you can see there, our stairs are complete. Now, the stairs also double as a ramp tool. What you want to do is essentially click and drag, essentially like the same idea we had with the staircase, right around. And once you've finished outlining the shape, come to the selection tool again, click on the landings option, and you want to click on the landings option twice, and it will show you an arrow for the incline of the ramp. Now, as you can see, we repeat that step again to show the incline of the ramp. Now, if you wanted to flip the way the arrows were going, simply come over to the right here and select the flip direction option, and it will show the arrows going the opposite direction. Now we're finished adding in our ramps and stairs, we now want to add in furniture. To add in furniture, we want to come to the feature tool here, and then choose between two options. So we have either the fixture option, where we have a fixture library of already pre-made stuff, or we can use the detailing option where you can freehand draw your furniture. I prefer to use the freehand option as I find it much easier. To use the freehand option, select your drawing type, zoom into the particular furniture you want to trace over, click and drag, and then you want to release, select your manipulator tool, and then click on that line, and it'll give you the ability to make that one outline. Once you're happy with your shape, simply click on the select option, hit the copy, and click on the paste. This will allow us to copy that exact shape as we go along, like so. Now we've added in all our furniture, what we want to do is put in our interior zone. To add our interior zone, we come to the zone tool along the top here, click on the new zone type. Now interior zone is selected by default, but as you can see we have various amount of different options we can add in terms of zones. So we'll select interior, then what we want to do is start on the outer point of an external wall, then click and drag to the diagonal opposite. And when you release, you'll see there's a white rectangle in place. What we want to do now is manipulate this white rectangle in the shape of the external walls. To do that, we want to click on the white dot located in between each node and drag that to the external corners, like so. As you drag it, you'll see that the estimated area located on the left and right are both changing as we enlarge this shape. Again, when we come to the curve wall, same idea, put a node at the start and the finish of the curve. And then click on the node to highlight it, and use those same grip points again to curve the wall. Once you're happy with that curve, simply click off to the side, and as you can see here, we've got a nice white feel of the internal of the building. Once we've finished adding in an arterial zone, what we want to do now is put in some navigation paths. To do that, we come to our navigation tool located along the top. We click on the drawing option, which is the line, and then from that we start from the exit and work our way back into the building, making sure that this path is connected the whole way throughout the building and is also connected to secondary exits. So as we click and drag, making sure that we're connected, click and drag out. And once you've mapped the full interior layout of the building, what you want to do now is let the program know where to run these paths to. To do that, we need to add in targets, which is this icon located at the top. And what we want to do is click to place them on the final purple dots outside the building. Once you've done that, you come to your path previewer. You can then click and hold, and it will show you a preview of paths, primary and secondary, from the point where your cursor is. Now we've finished adding in our navigation paths. We want to start to add some icons. To add our icons, we come to the icon tool at the top here, and we choose from one of two options. So we'll start off with the leader line icon, where you can click to place, come to the icon search on the right, type in your preferred icon, select from the list, as you can see here, and go through and place them throughout the building. Once you finish placing all your leader line icons, we also have a zoned icon option. Now with the zoned icon, similar to the interior zone, click and drag to highlight that particular room or rooms. Come over to the search function again and select your preferred icon. Once you've finished adding that, we also have probably one of the most important tools in PlanStudio, the evacuation sign indicator. Now with this icon, when you click to add it, if you click and hold, as you can see, we can rotate this around. But what we're also doing is setting the orientation. And the way you want to look at this icon is you're standing where the white dot is, and the point of the icon would be the way you're viewing the sign. Once you've got the orientation in, simply release, and PlanStudio will ask you a few questions about that sign. For this one, we're going to click a new sign, and the preferred orientation is landscape. Now we do have an option to add a mounting photo, which I would definitely suggest to do. What we can also do is come across a little further and select our preferred template. Being that we've selected landscape only, we'll be using the landscape template. Now if you scroll down, you have the option also to add secondaries, whether that's hide nearby or show all. We'll be using show all today. Once you've finished placing your evacuation signs, what you can also do is add in your exit signs. To do that, similar idea, click and hold, and you can rotate around, and the green running man will orientate itself. If you wanted to add in any directional arrows, simply click these arrows located above it. Now that I'm finished adding in all my equipment, I now want to show you guys the annotation tool. Now the annotation tool can be used for many of things. One thing could be to either using the pencil option to circle a particular area of interest. You also have the ability to highlight a particular area, and also you can then erase that said annotation. Now with that, we can also attach notes to any areas of interest, like this one here, where we can say loading dock, and then also have the function to attach a photo to that same point. Now we've finished reviewing any annotations we've added, we now want to go to the site plan section. To go to the site plan, we want to go back out of the floor plan editor and back into the floor plan section, come to the campus level and select site plan. Now what we want to do is basically locate our building on top of this building here. To do that, we come to the Site tool, select the Import Building function, select our particular building, then the particular floor, and select Add Footprint. Now that our building's been added in there, like so, what we want to do now is come to our Fixture tool, come to the Labeling option, and essentially turn our angle snapping off and give the road at the front a name. Click and drag, release, come to the label properties on the right. To have any custom formatting, we'll need to change from automatic to custom. And with that, we want to make sure our road name is white. As you can see there, the only final touches we need to do is show the path of travel from the building to the assembly area. To do that, we select the Navigation tool. We'll find our assembly area icon located here. Select that and click to place. And now from that, we want to use our navigation path to essentially show from the building the path of travel you would take to get to the AA. Again, like we did earlier, we want to preview our paths to make sure they're all connected and work perfect. Now that we've completed our site plan, let's have a look how this looks on the template. To do that, we're going to go back into the floor plan. Now that we're into the floor plan, we want to come up to the evac sign preview along the top here. And as you can see here, it's going to preview our floor plan. Now in this view, we can change multiple things, including the template. If this was meant to be a portrait, just by simply selecting the portrait template, or even selecting the landscape. We can also change using the framing option, the view of the plan, as well as the site plan by clicking or zooming out. We also then have the option of the layout as well, where we can click and drag to essentially move anything. And as you can see, we'll need to do this for each individual sign placed. Click and drag, coming into your framing tool again to make sure that you're happy with the framing. And as you can see there, our legend automatically fills out by picking up every single icon that we've placed on the floor plan here.
I hope this has been helpful in improving your understanding of the power in PlanStudio. PlanStudio is available on iOS, Mac, Windows, and your preferred browser. To start using PlanStudio, become a partner today.